Hi, I'm Rick Howe, and I run a weekly program called Talk Back to Television. It's about the business of TV, how we make programs, how we distribute programs, and most of all, how we pay for programs. Because if we can't pay for the shows, there's nothing to watch. Hi, this is Talk Back to Television, and I'm Rick Howe.
And I'm Mike Nagle.
And it's time to get started. Okay, Mike Nagle, you are the head of what, where, what do you do? Where do you do it?
So I'm GM for streaming at Gannett, USA Today, and USA Today Sports.
And you run the channel that this show appears on.
Crazy. Life imitates art or something like that.
How could that be? So you're like, well, you have the home team advantage here. So I usually say I'm the one with the off button, but actually you've got the off button. So
it could be worse. It could be worse. Thank God it's not bat night.
Yeah, okay. Tell us what it's like to run this channel. What do you have to do? What's involved with that? Tell our people.
You know, the best thing I can do in many cases, Rick, is stay out of the way of what is an amazing group of people on the content team. Russ Torres' team gives us these amazing stories, tells us these amazing things about people and ways to improve their lives, gives them news, information. We like to keep our information portable. We like to give people news, information, tips on how to improve their day, improve their life. And we do that in many forms, many run times, entertainment, news, lifestyle, sports, documentary. We do a little bit of everything. My job is mainly not to screw that up.
And you also negotiate with the platforms of Roku and Stir and some others on running this channel, right?
That's right. Goal is to increase the distribution and make sure that when people have the ability to tune in, what they're seeing is making them come back for more.
And now USA Today is one of the strongest brands in the news business. How much of your content actually comes from what I'll call the print side of the shop? Are you related that way on a content perspective?
Yeah, I think technically we're all related. I think, most of the stories that we put on the air come in some way, shape, or form from either the national or the local news teams. We have our storytellers come from our online business as much as they do from technically the print business. So yeah, I mean, everyone from the national teams to the local teams contribute on a regular basis, and in large percentage to what we put on the air.
Cool. Now, putting stuff on the air. Talk Back to Television airs Thursday afternoons on USA Today channel, usually in the 12 to 12:30 slot Eastern time, right?
That's right.
And there's one feed, so that's 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Pacific.
That's right. And if you're in Australia, don't ask me what time that is, because I got shoes and socks on.
I have no idea what time it is in Australia. I have hard enough time communicating with people in India, and that's 7.5 hours.
Shout out to the good people watching us on Foxtel.
Well, yeah, there you go. Okay, so now listen. You and I started talking about putting this show together last year. We finally got it organized and it premiered. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're developing going forwards?
Yeah, so one of the things we like to make sure that we do is give people less of a hard time finding what they want to see. And when we started thinking about what I kind of coined the phrase, the power lunch block, the idea is, with a lot of people working remotely and in hybrid work situations, we're used to going out to a deli and getting a sandwich. Nowadays, you run upstairs, you make a sandwich quick. You may have 5 minutes for lunch. You may have 45 minutes for lunch. What can I take? What can I watch that's going to keep me tuned into what I'm watching,
right,
and come away with something value, so much so that I want to come back the next day? So we launched the Power Lunch Block, which Talk Back to Television became a part of. So we're trying to make sure that we're telling people what to find, where to find it, And then once they get there, give them a quality piece of content that's going to make them come back again and again.
Well, that's way cool. And one of the things that I've added to my content, and just so you know, it's now popping up on Instagram and on Facebook and even on TikTok, is I do a little tidbit designed for viewers, give them something fun to look forward to at the end of each show. And this week's tidbit comes from Whip Media with their study about the most anticipated programs. The first up is a show called, I'm going to make sure I get this name right, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures on Disney Plus, a show for preschoolers, and that premieres on May the 4th. And I'll say this, and I'm going to stumble over it every time. May the 4th be with you, and that's really very hard to say. But then the other show is an entirely different side of the spectrum. On Paramount Plus, it is a remake for television of Fatal Attraction that premieres on April 30th with Lizzie Kaplan as Alex Forrest, the obsessive Glenn Close Alex Forrest. And all I can say with that one is guard your white bunnies, y'all. All right. And on that note, that's Talk Back to Television for this week. Mike Nagle from USA Today. Thank you very much, bud. I appreciate it.
Thank you as always, Rick.
All right. We'll see everybody next week.